Not sure where to post on social media? Are your hooks falling flat? Well, guess what, guys? I have the hook fairy on this week's episode of Unknown to Known. Here's a clip with Shannon McKinstry. So you'll definitely walk away with some quick, actionable tips that you can take across all your social media platforms starting today. Here's our conversation. And your journey from unknown to known within your niche has been a long one. Like a lot of people are seeing you now.
For
And that's
sure.
the other problem I think individuals have is they look at your success like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. I want to be here. I'm not her right now. Why is that not happening? I need that. Like in this conversation, you've said over and over again, it's been like years, 10 years, long time focusing on this. And this journey from unknown to known, I'm sure there were hiccups along the way. Were there any mistakes or moves that you made that you're like, gosh, I learned so much from doing this wrong, and now
Mhm.
I'm better at X?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is just the imposter syndrome, but it doesn't
Yeah.
go away. I have it that's why I've kinda trained my algorithm not to show me content from people in my niche because I'm like, "Oh, I'm not good, I suck, I quit."
Yeah.
We all have that, and that's just obviously something that's just ingrained in me, it's just who I am, but I love it because what I've found that has helped me is when I do start doing that, I'm like, "How can I create content from this?"
Mhm.
So, and there's been times I've literally created content about imposter syndrome, or there's times that maybe someone in my niche said something that I don't agree with. And then instead of getting all mad and like, I wish people would create the content, use that to create the content to remind people you know, what my advice is or what the best
Mhm.
route to take is. But I think that's pretty much probably the biggest hurdle for me, and it's still a hurdle, right? It's like, "No, I deserve to be here." There,
Mhm.
right? Like, I just was there were so many times I was like, "Well, I'll never get there, so might as well just throw in the towel now." But
Yeah.
it's definitely years and years of just but yeah, I think that was pretty much the biggest one, and then, of course, taking on clients that just drained me and
Mhm.
didn't know my worth, but that's just part of the process.
It
It's just
is.
part of it. You gotta
I'm
do it.
learning it now. I see people in the visibility space, and I'm like, "Oh,
I
I
know.
can't be her." I'm more of like a media strategist. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, okay, you need to be creating your social media like this every single day. But I am going
Right.
to help people figure out what's the type of messaging that you want to put out into the world that's going to help you build an
Yes.
audience in however you want to do it. And I use my CNN background, my journalistic background to really help people strategize how to map out who they are online. Do you credit anything back to your CNN days that really help you with the way you look at content differently that make you more of an authority over this niche?
I think for one, and I always joke about it, like, I don't know, some people call me a hook fairy. They're like, "Oh, my fairy," or they call me like
You are
hook
good.
godmother. Yeah. They're like, "You're a fairy godmother with hooks." And I'm like, "It's so funny." And I credit the newsroom for hooks majorly. And I think it's because I always was obsessed with, and I remember sitting in the control room because for a while I ran the fonts and graphics in the control room. And so when I would see like a typo or, I don't know, I think just like knowing how they were structured and why producers and people would structure things that way. I've always been obsessed with dissecting that stuff and headlines. I always credit that. I'm like, and even now watching the Today Show every day, I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Like I love
Mhm.
seeing the footer and all that stuff. It's just, so I was like, I think my obsession with hooks started back then. So
Yeah.
it's like a silly, fun thing that I look back on. I'm like, that's where it all kind of started. Like this love of, and just again, love of grabbing people's attention and telling them a story.
And that does help you really stand out in my mind, even as an authority, because you have that background knowledge. It's like when you come from such an elite place, you know what the expectations are. But one of the things that I didn't have much access to was data. And
Mm,
that in the social media space has been thrilling to see
yes.
instant responses, to see
Yes.
engagement. I mean, in TV, you didn't really have that. It's fun.
It is fun. I know. I love
I nerd out over
data.
it.
I do too. I love it. And I always joke that I'm not a numbers person as far as like math, but I love the data that, especially that Instagram gives us. It's wild. I love that Instagram now has retention time.
Wait,
So you
what's
can
that?
like
Oh,
see,
yes. Yes.
so you can
Yes.
literally see where people just go, I'm
Drop
bored.
off.
And then you're just like, so now you can fix it.
Yeah, and the trial reels. I think more people
Yes, I'm
need to try
obsessed.
those. Any tips on where people should be what people should be doing there?
Yeah, I think it's basically, and again, I called it in 2024. I have all these videos in 2024 that I like to show people where I'm like, "You guys, start talking with me and I and we and our hooks," meaning like instead of how to, how I, or instead
Mm,
of 3 ways to, it's 3 ways I. Um,
mm,
that's why almost all of my hooks, at least in my caption or on screen, will have my how I create content and da da da, how my favorite content creation tools, not just 3 content creation tools.
yeah.
It's from lived experience, and I keep ingraining that into people's heads. I'm like, your content, if it is, especially if it's something educational, it needs to be from your own lived experience, right? So you'll see them everywhere, carousels that are like, here's my morning routine from a type B mom of 3 girls, whatever, something like that, right? So for you, it would be like, um, how to structure or how to build a LinkedIn following from someone who, you know, worked
Mhm,
in news and da da da. Um, it's basically, goes back to that authority thing, but it's like these carousels are crazy that I see going and they're gonna continue to do well on Instagram, so really great for people who are a little nervous to talk on camera yet or just wanna not have to show up on camera all the time. Reels are still gonna be insanely amazing for growth too, but same thing when you're sharing a story or you're sharing, your perspective or whatever it needs to be from your own lived experience as much as you can so that we know why do I care about this from this person, right?
yeah.
Um, so hooks with really powerful statements. And I love another thing that I see doing really, really well is just really descriptive words.
Mm.
So even I see it a lot with like the food creators. So even if it's like brownie recipe. No, it's like brown butter, da, da, da. Like you want to make sure you're putting in words so the algorithm has as much as it can to get to show these your videos to the right people.
Mhm.
So and using words that people can attach to. So words like phrases, CNN, Amazon, um, 2016 trend, right? You want to use those phrases, words, anything that people can recognize so that when they see Jamie, they don't go, "Who's this?" They go, "Oh, she's talking about something relevant to me."
Mhm.
Or, "Oh, she worked in news. Let me see what she has to say." Because there's so much content out there. There's
So
so
much.
much. You have to make them care. So whenever something doesn't do well and someone shows me, I'm like, "Why didn't this do well?" I'm like, "It's missing it's missing something to grab them and hold their attention." Um, so that's why I always tell my nutritionists and stuff, I'm like, if you're gonna give them a meal plan, make it Trader Joe's edition, Aldi edition, or say from a dietitian who lost 40 pounds naturally. You got to make them care. So anything you
Yeah.
can add in there, and that's a great thing for ChatGPT also. Um, so if you want to succeed right now, you've got to make sure you're coming with it and that the words you're using grab them because we're bored.
That was Shannon McKinstry. Be sure to check out the full episode. We talk about how she landed press. Yes, she wound up on Inside Edition just by posting on social media. Plus, we'll get into more about her career and what it takes to grow your accounts on social media, YouTube, and podcasting platforms. We have a lot to dig into, so check out the full episode of Unknown to Known with Shannon McKinstry. And if you are looking for more strategic ways to show up across all platforms, I also recommend you listen to my podcast, Think Like a Producer. I'm helping professionals lean into the new media space with strategy. If visibility is your word in 2026, these episodes are definitely for you. And you also want to check out Shannon McKinstry's podcast, Good Content. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Again, go right to that Unknown to Known episode with Shannon and subscribe to this channel for more. See ya.